Can we truly define greatness solely by the cold, unforgiving metrics of a computer screen? Or does the essence of pitching genius still reside in an unquantifiable artistry that transcends StatCast readings? When a legendary figure like Masumi Kuwata, a pitcher whose own control was so legendary he seemed to have strings attached to the baseball, declares that Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the $325 million centerpiece of the Dodgers' rotation, is merely an average pitcher by data, we are forced to confront a shocking paradox that lies at the heart of modern baseball.
If you're tired of noise and superficial metrics obscuring the true craft of the game, then welcome to 606 Prime News, where we dissect the strategic battles and hidden brilliance that make Japanese baseball culture so revolutionary. Kuwata's statement, delivered at a digital baseball clinic for young players, was not a slight against Yamamoto, but a profound indictment of the metrics-obsessed culture.
He wasn't talking about wins, losses, or ERAs. He was drilling down into the raw material, the velocity of the fastball, the RPM of the curveball, the sheer movement. By those standards, Yamamoto's 95-96 miles per hour fastball might indeed look average when compared to the 100 miles per hour fire breathers like Hunter Green or Jacob deGrom. Kuwata explained, and I quote, "In the U.S., both his fastball and breaking balls are statistically average pitches."
However, his control, his ability to force batters to swing at pitches going from the strike zone into the ball zone is exceptional. That is why he gets so many outs. This isn't just about throwing strikes, that's entry-level control. This is about manipulating the strike zone, turning the batter's aggressive mindset against them. Kuwata's foundational lesson remains. For both pitchers and hitters, control is paramount for sustained success, especially in the formative years.
Mastering Seikyu-ryoku with proper form in adolescence gives you a lifelong advantage, he argues. And who are we to argue with the man who was pinpoint accurate from his PL Gakuen days onward? The conflict here is stark, the age of velocity versus the art of deception. The casual observer sees Yamamoto's fastball sit comfortably in the 50th percentile for velocity among MLB starters and immediately dismisses him as a finesse pitcher. But this misses the entire point.
Let's bring in our resident pitching analyst, Kenji Sato, who told me recently, if you purely look at velocity and raw spin efficiency, yes, Yamamoto is not an outlier. His average fastball spin rate sits around 2350 RPM, which is solid but not elite. However, his execution is an outlier. We tracked his pitches on the edge of the zone this season.
His chase rate on pitches one baseball width outside the lower corner, the pitch Kuwata is talking about, is a staggering 38%, nearly 10 points above the MLB average for starters. That isn't statistical noise. That is surgical intent. This is the power of the controlled near miss. Yamamoto doesn't need to blow the ball past the batter. He needs to make the batter commit to chasing the unhittable, the disappearing missile, and that is a far more advanced skill.
The counter-argument, often lobbied by those obsessed with raw power, is that control, without overwhelming stuff, will eventually fail against elite Major League hitting. They argue that pitchers like Max Scherzer or Garrett Cole succeed because their control enhances already generational velocity. But this argument fundamentally misunderstands the history of pitching greatness. We are talking about the Greg Maddux effect, the Cliff Lee paradigm.
Neither pitcher relied on overpowering velocity, yet both rendered the best hitters helpless for decades. Maddox's entire career was built on the premise that a 90-mile-per-hour sinker located exactly where he wanted was more effective than a 98-mile-per-hour heater that missed its spot by 2 inches. Yamamoto embodies this philosophy, but elevates it with modern movement.
The fact that Yamamoto can transition from NPB to MLB and immediately achieve elite results, despite his average raw numbers, is the proof in the pudding. He is forcing us to reevaluate what truly defines stuff. The climax of this realization lies in the sheer difficulty of the task Kuwata describes. Pitching on the edge of the zone is stressful, physically demanding, and requires an innate confidence that few possess.
Yamamoto's pitch metrics might be average, but his precision percentage,
The percentage of pitches he throws within a 2-inch radius of his intended target is reportedly in the 98th percentile. This hyper-precision allows him to throw his devastating splitter and curveball with the same release point, starting them over the plate before they vanish into the dirt or break sharply out of the zone. This is why batters look fooled, not overpowered.
This is the ultimate chess match, played at 95 miles per hour. And this commitment to control isn't a fluke, it's a legacy. Kuwata himself, when he was in high school, famously limited himself to only throwing the fastball and the curveball, even though he was physically capable of throwing sliders and sinkers. Why? Because, as he later explained, I knew if I wanted to win in the pros, I had to master absolute control in high school. The raw speed would come later. Control is forever.
He was consciously forging his weapon in the fire of discipline. Therefore, when Kuwata calls Yamamoto average by data, it's the ultimate compliment. It means Yamamoto is winning the most difficult battle in baseball, defeating hitters with pure skill and execution, not just inherited physical gifts. He proves that the mental game, the control, the ability to read the batter's thoughts and throw the pitch that begins as a strike and ends as a chase is the genuine metric of genius.
He is succeeding not despite his average data, but perhaps because of it. In an environment where every pitcher throws 98 miles per hour and every hitter is looking for a specific spin axis, the pitcher who doesn't rely on being an overwhelming physical outlier, but relies on hyper-precise deception, becomes the true anomaly, the unhittable craftsman. Yamamoto is the future model for pitchers who want longevity and effectiveness without having to perpetually max out their physical engine.
His success is a ringing endorsement of Kuwata's philosophy. Start with control and the rest will follow. What truly defines baseball greatness in the age of algorithms? Is it the raw, measurable data, or is it the genius of execution that allows a pitcher with average stuff to dominate the strongest league in the world? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the art of pitching, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to 606 Prime News for more analyses that uncover the hidden tactics of the game.